Good day, everyone, in this Twitter space from Crypto Miners. Hello, my name is Mary, and we are going to have fun with Fantom today. I can't wait. And Simon is here to tell us about Fantom Foundation and Fantom. Hello, Simon. How are you today?
Hi, Mary. I'm good. Thank you for having me here.
Very great to have you. It's going to be so fun to hear more about Fantom. I've heard of Fantom so many times, but I have never digged deep into it, so I don't really know everything. And yeah, I hope you can tell us some news also maybe about Fantom, what's going to happen in the future and so on. But first, let's welcome everyone in here. And also say that anything we talk about in here is for educational purpose only and should not be taken as any financial advice. So do your own research about the projects or this project before you decide what to do. So yes, and Simon, do I say your name correctly? Is it Simon or Simon or?
So it's Simone, but anyway, it's
Simone.
fine.
No, we should have the real name, of course. Simone. Simone. Where are you from, Simone?
I'm from Italy originally.
Of course. Ciao, ciao, bello.
Ciao.
All right. So let's start with an introduction of yourself, Simone. You're from Italy, but when did you start in crypto, and when did you start with Fantom Foundation, and what is it you do there for them?
Sure. So I originally started in crypto by let's say almost by mistake in at the end of 2013, beginning of 2014, when back then a friend of mine told me about Bitcoin. And of course, I didn't do my research, and I was very confused about what Bitcoin was. My friend didn't do a good job at all in explaining me what it was. So unfortunately, I kind of dismissed it back then. I did buy a very, very, very small amount, just I don't know, like
So
$50
you were not the
worth of
guy who bought
Bitcoin.
the pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin?
No, no, unfortunately not.
Okay.
That wasn't me.
Thank God.
Uh, yeah, exactly. But anyway, unfortunately, so I really forgot about, crypto pretty much for the whole following like 2 or 3 years, because then it was, shortly after I bought my first tiny fraction of Bitcoin. That's when Mt. Gox happened, and all that very long bear market that lasted in 2015, 2016. So I really didn't follow the space at all at that time. However, I came back at the beginning of 2017 again by complete chance. A friend of mine, another friend, told me something that I interpreted as if he was talking about crypto, but it wasn't. And then at that time, finally, I started doing my research. So I read the Bitcoin white paper, and I started reading about Ethereum back then, and that's how I started my journey in crypto. So started really getting involved into several communities, first on Reddit, then on Telegram. And then, thanks to Telegram specifically, I guess at the beginning of 2018, I started hearing about Fantom, this new upcoming project. It was very hyped back then. It was following the wave of all the successful ICOs that happened in 2017. And so I started, just researching, Fantom, what was going to be, what the vision was back then, and just following the project. And then when it launched publicly, I mean, I guess the token back then, it wasn't even mainnet. At the end of 2018, I was one of the very first community members in the Fantom community. And I was very proactive back then.
A true OG. That's good.
It's true, yeah, absolutely. I'm one of the real OGs of Fantom. And so I guess, was very involved, very proactive. I organized an event in New York. I was living in New York City back then, and in early 2019. And Fantom sent Andre Cronier to speak about Fantom. And then, Andre and I kept in touch. And then towards the end of 2019, he asked me if I wanted to join Fantom full time as part of the team. And I accepted. So it's been now a little bit more than 3 years that I've been working at Fantom, and it's been a great journey.
Nice. And what did you start with? Did you start with the foundation right away, or?
Yes. Yeah, I was working, always been working the Fantom Foundation. Yeah, in the marketing department, and now I'm the chief marketing officer.
Okay. So maybe we should talk first about the foundation, or maybe just a brief introduction of Fantom for those maybe who don't know. Everyone probably have heard of it, but what's the big thing with Fantom? What is it for who is using it? I know it's big
That's
maybe, but just a brief
that's
introduction.
yeah. I'll give a brief introduction of
Okay.
what Fantom is and what Fantom does. Well, Fantom is in very simple terms, is a blockchain platform. It's a network similar to Ethereum, similar to others. It's fully EVM compatible, which means that developers that are used to Ethereum, so that they build apps using Solidity and Viper, they can do exactly the same thing on Fantom. The big differences between, say, Fantom and Ethereum and other EVM chains is that Fantom has the fastest confirmation time. So we're talking less than 1 second of finality. And this, of course, makes everything much easier, both for developers and users. So the user experience of the whole network is unparalleled, especially coming from Ethereum, where people are used to wait several seconds for confirmation times, or in times of peak congestion, peak traffic, to maybe pay even hundreds of dollars for a transaction. So this is absolutely the opposite happens on Fantom. So as I said, the time to finality, the confirmation times are less than 1 second, and the transactions also are extremely cheap. Then another little bit technical advantage, of course, is that Fantom offers true finality. So there's no longest chain rule. There is no possibility of chain reorgs on Fantom. So once again, this makes the network, again, it increases the user experience because, there's no potential security issues in creating forks, because forks are impossible. Then there's another bunch of technical advantages that I'm not the best person to talk about, but I would say in general, what builders and users like about the chain is actually how easy it is and how seamless it feels when you use it. So it almost mimics the way that Web 2 works. So when you go on Amazon, you click a button and it's done. And Fantom, we're very close to that, experience.
Very nice. So I've heard that Fantom isn't really a blockchain, but it's a DAG or DAG. Like,
Correct. And this is where we go a little bit in the more technical stuff. So
no, we don't
let's
have
say,
to go there so much,
okay,
but just mention
no, just
it a
to
little.
explain it. Well, actually, it's both in a way, because the Fantom consensus, so the aBFT, asynchronous Byzantine fault tolerant consensus mechanism, which is pretty much the engine that powers the network, that's correct. It's a DAG, and which means that's also why Fantom can be so fast, because it doesn't have to wait for subsequent blocks. It can confirm transactions in parallel. So that's the biggest advantage. But then on top of that, of course, the output of the consensus is actually a regular blockchain. That's why when you go on FTM scan, for example, it looks exactly like Etherscan, because the output of the consensus, it's a regular blockchain, and that's why everyone finds it easy to build on, because in the end it doesn't look different than, say, Ethereum.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not really a very technical person either, but I'm trying to learn, so it's nice to know. We had some other projects who has DAG instead, some that's why
Mhm.
I brought it up. All right, and but Fantom is not run by any person, is it? It has a foundation instead, or how is it run, or who owns Fantom?
Correct. Well, nobody owns Phantom. So as you stated correctly, so the Phantom Foundation is the main developer behind the Phantom technology. So, and the
Yeah.
Phantom Foundation is structured pretty much like a regular organization on the outside. So there's Michael Kong, who's the CEO. There's Andre Coronia, that is founder and director. David Richardson is another director, and all the roles, the different roles that you might expect in a regular organization on the outside. When it comes on the inside, of course, it's a very fluid, very flat looking organization, almost similar to a DAO, of course, with more structure and more, with advantages and benefits borrowed from regular companies. But it's it's a little bit different, a little bit more future looking. So yeah, but there's no one that owns Phantom. And on top
No,
of
yeah.
that, also Phantom is very community driven and very community oriented. So unlike most of other competitors, for example, Phantom isn't really doesn't have big VC backers, which has been seen always recently as an advantage because we've seen unfortunately when bad things happen, when crashes happen, and
Yeah.
VCs have to liquidate their positions. Then of course it's not a good thing for the network or for the other users. On
Been
Phantom,
heard a
that
lot, yeah.
luckily, correct. On Phantom, as I said, it's really almost a network of the people, which is quite cool.
Yeah, that's an advantage, especially nowadays when people know what can happen if it's
Right.
not like that. So what is it then that the foundation do more? Can we go in a little bit more deep? You are the CMO, I think, about the foundation, right? You
Correct.
do
Yeah.
the marketing, and this is part of that, I suppose, the marketing, to get
Yeah, absolutely.
Phantom out there to the people.
Yeah. So the job of our of my department, so the marketing team, is to educate people about Phantom. Basically, what we're doing now in this AMA, but we're doing we're doing several different efforts to make really Phantom known to the public, but also to make people understand better what Phantom does, what are its advantages, and so on.
Yeah.
But as I said before, what the foundation really does. I mean, the Phantom Foundation is a technology company. So at its core, it's I would say the most important part of the foundation are the developers. And the developers are and the research team together, of course. So research and development. We have a fantastic research team guided by Bernard Schultz, who is one of the forefathers of the virtual machines. So that's quite exciting. And they're working constantly on improving the technology, the underlying technology. So that's pretty
And
much what the Fanta Foundation is focused on.
yeah, and I reckon that now during this time of that people call it bear market, that it hasn't been so hyped, and all the prices of the coins are down a lot, and you take then the opportunity, I suppose, to build more new things that you can offer then the users afterwards. And can you tell us something about those things that are building in the background, or is it all secret?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, then there's a few things that we that are public that actually that have been presented also last week
Okay.
during the Quantum conference in Miami. So I can talk briefly about those.
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, you're right. I mean, the bear market is for builders. It's much easier to build in a bear market because there's much less distractions for everyone. In a bull market, it's really a huge mess. You know, there's a lot of euphoria
Yeah.
going around that, unfortunately, as I said, it's kind of counterproductive to those who are building.
We
But
all wait
yes,
for it though. We all want it to come
I
back,
know, but
but
yeah, but to get to a new potential bull market, you need a bear market because technology needs to advance.
yeah,
And
true.
yeah, so to this point, basically, what the research and development team has been working on, and I would say that the main goal for the next few years is to bring Phantom to excellence in terms of performance and user experience in general. So this means ultimately solving all the issues that all the other EVM chains have, including Phantom, of course, because EVM unfortunately it works, but it also works as a bottleneck for something like Phantom that is it's really being capped by the EVM. So anyway, the research team has been first thing has been working on identifying these bottlenecks, and I mean the research team identified the EVM, of course, being a bottleneck, but also the database. So these are the two areas that they're focusing on drastically improving. So from the database side, there's going to be a new storage system that eventually will allow in 98% less storage used by validator nodes, which means nodes will be much more light compared to what they're now. So it's going to be much easier for people to run validator nodes, pretty much, less expensive, less resource consuming, and ultimately, of course, this will favor decentralization. And and then the other bottleneck they identified, I said, is the EVM, and that's where the Fantom virtual machine will come in. It will still take some time, probably towards the end of the year, maybe next year. But the FTM will completely replace the EVM of Fantom while keeping the full compatibility with Solidity, for example. So from a developer point of view, there's gonna be zero downsides and just upside. Now, what's actually very interesting is that the research team conducted a few experiments on mainnet, on Phantom mainnet. So this is real data. It's not just either testnet or just theoretical data. And we've seen, if I'm not mistaken, I'm checking the numbers now. So at least an 8 times increase in transaction per second in transaction speed. So this is quite significant, and of course, it will make things possible that are impossible now. Such as reaching a throughput that may be surpassing even what Visa is offering. So opening up the network and the platform to much more use cases than they're now.
So do you think that is the next step really for crypto to take up the competition with Visa and MasterCard and be out there and as a
No,
payment
no, no.
solution?
Not necessarily. I just brought that up because it's something that people
Mm-hmm.
relate to easily. It's easier for me to say that rather than compare it, I don't know, to I don't know, something else that it's going to be hard for people to relate to. But no, I don't necessarily think that crypto is going to be just payments, but it will include payments. So for sure, there's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, already now, actually, I know for sure that there are already projects working on payment solution on Phantom. And of
Yeah,
course,
that's what
this
I
will,
wanted to ask, if there are
yes,
some
yes.
projects working on it
There,
now,
there are,
because
there are. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
yeah, there's one that is called Retrieve that is actually quite cool. That yes, it's focused on payments, part of which they go for charity. So you have a very cool business model there. But there's a few of them. But besides that, so again, let's then shift to maybe another vertical that needs higher throughput, higher transaction per second, so which could be gaming, for example. On-chain gaming could happen for real
Mm-hmm.
on Fantom because when we're going to, I don't know, let's say 5,000 transactions per second with a very very low cost of transactions in fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a cent, then again new possibilities open up. And honestly, it's really up to the builders, up to the developers, because we're at the point in blockchain, I believe, that is maybe, again, maybe 1998, 1999 internet, right? And back then, uh, sure, people were building the infrastructure of what is the internet today, but it was hard back then to imagine, let's say, Twitter, a Twitter space, right, or Instagram, or all these things that we're using today that are possible because the technology improved so much over the years that that
Yeah, for sure.
allowed developers to create these. So again, eventually it's hard to say, what. People will use these blockchain for, these networks for, but we're building the best technology possible to really remove any sort of friction or any sort of barriers for people to build really what they want and possibly something that will make everyone's lives better.
So can we mention some places or some specific things where Fantom is used today? Because I've heard there are real good examples out there where where they use Fantom as a method or
Well,
help.
uh, yeah, absolutely. Well, Phantom exploded really last year, the beginning of 2021, and it became the DeFi chain. So of course we have at the moment I think more than 300 dApps deployed on Phantom with tens of thousands daily active users, and I would say still mostly on DeFi, but we're seeing expansions towards and NFTs. Of course, we have a very cool underground NFT community, and more gaming developers in gaming dApps are coming to Phantom. Of course, given the extended time that is required to build a game, that process is a little bit slower compared to a DeFi app. But but certainly the Phantom ecosystem is thriving, and it's always been since, as I said, since it exploded in 2021, it's been one of the most used chains across the world.
Yep. It's very famous and out there, that's for sure. I read that in Pakistan, for instance, there is a partnership with private educational regulator maybe, and a Phantom is being used to securely store the records and audit their
Right.
databases. That's
Yeah.
something
That's
that
that's a good point. So a couple of years ago, I believe, we started doing some not necessarily partnerships, but memorandum of understanding with a few governments, including the Pakistan one that you mentioned. However, when it comes to governments and institutions, things move very, very slowly, especially when it's a matter of changing the whole system on which things are already
yeah.
built. So at the moment, I don't think anything much is really happening on that front. But slowly but surely, we will get there. I don't believe that at the moment that kind of stuff is priority for the foundation, because I believe that we're not there yet. Not just Fantom. I'm saying, the blockchain industry as a whole, we're not there yet to actually be able to serve a wider audience such as that. Not so much from a technological standpoint, because of course it's possible, especially when it comes, to what you mentioned, putting say diplomas on the blockchain and verifying the authenticity. That's absolutely possible already now without waiting for the increase in throughput and scalability. But it's more, both part of the perception that the outer world has towards blockchain, and unfortunately, what happened last year with Terra and FTX didn't really help. Plus, I do believe that we still need to gain a little bit more legitimacy, a little bit, someone else has to do that first step so that then afterwards,
Yeah,
many,
I mean,
many,
it did hurt crypto, as you said, as well, the trustworthiness of crypto probably got
right.
hurt, but probably also it raised awareness among more people that there are more crypto than only Bitcoin, because many people know about Bitcoin, and that's like those who don't know much, they think it's, oh, that's just for drugs and weapons and stuff like that, illegal things. But now I think they know that there are other things than Bitcoin, and that maybe Bitcoin isn't only for illegal things. I mean, real money is used much more for illegal things than Bitcoin, to be honest. So
Absolutely. No,
we just need to get the awareness out there, and maybe
no,
there's
you're completely right. Yes.
things that happen with FTX and everything that helped, but in a bad way, but it could still be good in the long run, maybe. We just need to
For
clarify
sure.
ourselves, I think.
Yeah, no, that's the key word there, the long run, right? Because I absolutely agree with you that, it brought attention to the space, and it brought
Mm.
attention to the fact that it's not just Bitcoin. But I guess that most people still don't really understand what it is possible to do with
Yeah.
blockchains. But also on the other hand, most of the people don't even need to know what's possible to do. I really think that at some point, in X amount of time, in a few years, people will be using blockchains without even knowing that they're using the blockchain. And that's
Yeah.
why we're working on, very hard on these problems, which is the scalability problems, uh, and how to solve them successfully. Because eventually, people will be using, as I said, will be using blockchain without thinking about it. In the same way that now we're using, when you open Twitter, you're not thinking about the underlying protocol that Twitter is built on. You just use
Exactly.
Twitter. So
Yeah, I think
that's,
that's where we have to go. I mean, we had lots
yep,
of talks like this, exactly like this, about the utility and how important it is to get the real use case out there for people who doesn't even have to know what it is, that it is a blockchain or which chain it is built on. Is it Fantom or is it some other chain? They don't have to know that, but we need the good utility out there so people can start using it. That's what we need for mass adoption, I think. So yeah, I'm glad you're on that
absolutely.
too.
Absolutely. But this is also something that doesn't happen, just suddenly from a day
Of
to another.
course.
And
Yeah, yeah.
it's a slow and gradual process. But I mean, look where we are today compared even to 2020 or 2019. 2019
Hmm.
really, all the blockchains, I want to say, were useless. There was nothing to do. Ethereum Ethereum was
Yeah.
almost a failure because the only successful thing that Ethereum had done by then, by 2019, was a bunch of ICOs, pretty much, where people, would do their own tokens, they would sell it to other people, and 99% of them were scams.
Mm.
So it wasn't that great of a success back then. But look let's talk about Ethereum. Let's see, from 2019 to 2023, where Ethereum alone got. I mean, in 2020, we started seeing the rise of DeFi, and that changed everything. And we're just talking about DeFi in 3 years' time. So imagine in 3 years where we're going to be. Probably, maybe today, if we were going to have this same cloud, maybe in 2026 or 2027, could say the same things that I'm saying now about 2019. Like, ooh, Do you remember
In the next bear
2023?
market, you mean?
Right. No, but like, looking back, hey, you remember 2023, the only thing that you can do with blockchain was, DeFi. I mean, a lot of DeFi, a lot of cool stuff, but you remember it was so
Yeah.
clunky and
So
so
what do you think?
primitive.
What do you see in the future that blockchain is being used for?
That's a good question because I don't know. I don't know besides, I could just, make a huge list of things that are possible,
Uh-huh.
but but I don't know. I think the most interesting things are those that I cannot put in that list because that I think that people uh, like to be surprised, and the most surprising ideas, the most surprising things, the most surprising applications are those that will work out in the end.
So do you mean this does this mean that you know something that you can't reveal for us that
No,
you're
no, no,
building?
no, absolutely no, no,
No?
no, no. I wish. No, 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 no. No, I mean, I could say that the same. Of course, DeFi will say absolutely 100%.
Yeah.
I could also see tokenization of securities of real assets, real world assets. NFTs expanding beyond just JPEGs or just art. I could
Mm-hmm.
see a creator economy, fully decentralized creator economy when it comes to video, music, movie, whatever you name it in that field. Then I could see, of course, gaming as well. I mentioned it already. However, gaming needs to really step forward and really, actually move away from the play to earn kind of things. I mean, a game, the only thing that a game needs to be successful is actually to be fun to play.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
anything else is an accessory. So if people figure out how to embed crypto and blockchain in a fun to play game, then you have a successful product. And I don't think we're there yet. And then when it comes to real world use cases, I mean, there's a bunch of them that are super interesting. For example, medical records, digital IDs, without getting the nightmare that is the central bank digital currency. Hopefully, I mean, I think it will happen at some point, but hopefully it won't be as bad as we can imagine. But yeah, DID, so decentralized identity or digital identity, actually, rather, it's going to be, I guess, game changer.
Could be a big thing, yeah. But
Yeah.
let's move back to the gaming because a gaming developer I know said that there is currently no blockchain fast enough for the game he wants to build.
Yep.
So would you say that Fantom is getting there after some upgrades or developing now in the bear market or
For sure, for
how?
sure. I mean, this, the work that we've done, the research that we presented, which, by the way, we're going to release a blog article, I believe, tomorrow or early next week at the latest about this presentation that Michael gave last week, so everyone has access to this data. So the research shows already, as I said, almost 10x increase at the moment, right today, on the current performance of the network. So of course, if you think, you think maybe in 3 years, 5 years, that 10x will be higher, of course,
Okay.
because the research and the development go on. So yes, we're definitely working towards a model that can support pretty much any sort of application, including demanding GameFi applications. But at the same time, I do believe that maybe when it comes to gaming, not everything needs to be on chain, right? So it could be a mix of off chain and on chain. So
Okay,
that is
yeah,
really
interesting.
that is really up to developers. And as I said, it's I would say the most challenging thing for gaming developers actually to figure out how to really embed the crypto thing in the game without making the crypto thing the main thing of the game. So that's the
Mm,
main challenge. Yeah.
yeah. It should be fun to play, as you said, and
Right. Right.
that's what people want. I mean, it shouldn't be a
I mean,
game
it's a
to
game. Yes.
play only to make money. It should be fun to play, and then you make money
Perfect.
also, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
they, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
So that could be
Maybe
a new
they will
slogan.
come soon. The fun games.
Yeah. But anyway, but to answer your question, absolutely. So to reiterate, yeah, the work that we've been doing, that we're doing now to increase the performance of the network will greatly help even the most demanding gaming developers.
So you have been focusing on that specifically to make it faster for the game developers.
No, not necessarily for the gamer. We want to make the best platform ever for
For
anyone.
everyone.
So that,
Okay.
for, of course, gaming developers have specific needs, but maybe, someone else has other specific needs, and we want to really, build a platform that anyone can go use and can go build on without finding any issues or any sort of friction.
Yeah. All right. Let's move back a little bit to how Fantom works. I mean, the Fantom networks has two main layers, right? The Opera and the Lachesis. How do you say that?
Like it's yes. That's
Lachesis.
yes. It's a three layers if you really want to unpack it. So the
Okay.
base layer is the Lachesis, which is the consensus mechanism that I was mentioning before, aBFT consensus mechanism. Then there is the middleware. There would be the EVM, and that's actually the main focus now. All I've been talking about is actually the middleware, the
Yeah.
EVM that will be replaced by the Fantom Virtual. So Ethereum Virtual Machine that will be replaced eventually by the Fantom Virtual Machine. And then the top layer, it's the dApp layer. That's where, dApps are built, that's where the governance is, and so on.
Okay. And that's the Opera then, or?
Well, Opera can be, the name Opera is a little bit confusing because it's just the name of the network. So it's called Fantom Opera
Okay.
Chain, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So do you know, since you were in there from the start, why is it called Fantom? Is there a story behind this?
Well,
Can you hear me?
yes, sorry, I dropped for a second because I had the call in the background. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, since you were here from the beginning in
Yeah.
Fantom, do you know the story behind the name? Why
Oh,
is it called Fantom?
I don't know, and if I'm not mistaken, there's no specific story. It just sounded nice, and that's that's why the original team, picked this one.
You
Just
should make up a story
I
then,
know, but this is
Simone.
but this is a good story as well. So it's it sounds nice and it's memorable. It's easy to remember. So this is it. Yeah.
So, so maybe he was the person who minted it was a fan of Phantom of the Opera or something, since it's Phantom and Opera.
Possibly, yes, and no, but you're absolutely correct. And actually, the three main milestones that research and development team is working on, they're named after famous Italian opera. So it's
Ah,
yes.
is Lachesis also a famous opera?
No, Lachesis, I don't remember what it is exactly, but it's something Greek. I don't know if it's a Greek
Okay.
god or something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. All right. I think it's interesting with names, more interesting with names than technical things. I think I will be one of those, person who uses the blockchain without knowing it's a blockchain. I long for that. But I like to learn, so I'm trying.
Yeah.
All all right, let's talk about something, maybe some partnerships that you have, because there are some big partnerships going on with Fantom, right?
Uh, Not necessarily, actually. I mean, when it comes to when it comes to partnerships, we don't really do any big name partnerships as
Okay.
other blockchains, for example. Um, yeah, but we have many,
But
many.
but are you competitors with the others, or do you see you as colleagues and we're working together to reach mass adoption, or what's
That's
the take on that for Fantom?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I would say it's a little bit of both. I would say that, of course, there's no advancement without competition. So, it's great that there's competition. So they really that kind of pushes everyone to do more, to find better solutions and
That's true. Yeah.
to improve generally. And of course, that brings up everyone, right? Because if there's chain A that it's like, oh, wait, they're working on that very hard. Let's do it as well. And then chain B does it, chain C does it, then really brings up, and then the cycle repeats, and that's how technology progresses fast. And at the same time, I mean, you're right. In the end, we're all in the same boat, and what we all, I mean, we have one common goal, which is to expose to expose people to this new and early technology, but also ultimately to make the world better in a way, right? With these technologies. So to make certain things easier, or to make things that were impossible before, such as DeFi. Before, people didn't really have a way to, I don't know, to access financial assets without going through a broker, for example. But this is just one of the many use cases of the blockchain is so different from what came before. So anyway, to sum it up again, to answer your question, yeah, it's a little bit of both. There's and we're in good terms
Healthy
with
competition.
Absolutely. And
that's good, I think.
Yeah.
It's honest also. Thank you.
Yeah.
So what does really mass adoption mean, in your opinion? When do we reach mass adoption? And how can Fantom play a role in that?
So that's one of those things that it's hard to describe and define, because to a certain extent we have reached mass adoption, right? I mean, there's a good chunk of people that at least know about Bitcoin and crypto. Another good chunk of people actually have used it for whatever reason, right? I mean, maybe some people just for speculation, but some other people maybe actually they tried these new tools. They tried, DeFi, they tried GameFi, they tried NFTs. So I think let's say we started that mass adoption. Then ultimately, the way that I envision mass adoption is what I've been talking about until now. It's me and you. I mean, that you brought up as well. It's reaching that point where crypto is so, or blockchain is so embedded imbued in our life, that we basically use the technology without knowing that we're using the technology, and we can appreciate doing certain things that were impossible before thanks to this new technology.
Yeah, correct. So that's why I ask also, what is mass adoption for you? Because some people think that's when everyone is using Bitcoin for everything, maybe, and some people think like you, we are almost there because we have started it long time ago, and now we have reached a point where most of the people know about Bitcoin, at least. Maybe they haven't used it yet, but yeah. I see an interesting thing. I have to ask you this, Simone. In your bio, it says really good at asking dumb questions. So I want to know, what question would you ask yourself about Fantom?
Oh, wow, that is a really good question, and that is not a dumb question.
No, it's not. I want to give you an opportunity to ask a good question. That's why.
Wow. Okay. What? Oof. Yeah.
So you have to ask yourself next question now. This is new. I've never done this before.
No, that's great. This is hard for me because nobody asked me before, so now I have to think about it. Okay. Okay. This is actually I like this. What excites you? To myself, what excites you the most about Fantom? This is a good question. Yeah. And so I can answer that. And so again, keep in mind that I've been with Fantom in some shape or form for the past almost 5 years. So I've really seen it, grow and, actually starting and then
Are you a
changing and
Phantom
growing.
what is it called?
Ma Maximalist?
Yeah.
No, no, I don't think so. I think there's space for everyone, right?
Okay,
Of
okay, go
course,
ahead. Sorry.
Phantom. No, 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 no. But of course, I strongly believe in Phantom, and so much so that I really dedicated really my life to it. I was doing
Mm,
something different before, and then I really, I joined Phantom completely. Um, but so I've been around for a while around Phantom, and I've seen it grow. And what I'm seeing, what I've been seeing, especially in the past few months, it's something that I guess because we reached a level point that we're again growing and maturing. I'm seeing a level of again going back to the research and development that I hadn't seen before. This doesn't mean that it wasn't happening before, but it has accelerated so much and with so much more talent coming on board that it's truly fascinating to watch. So this definitely excites me. It excites me to see that yeah, it's constantly Phantom is constantly evolving and constantly improving and really getting better. Really, there are people work very, very smart people, extremely smart people working hard on solving these very hard problems, problems of how to keep the balance of decentralization, security, and scalability, so that, they can create this place where other smart people, they can do their own thing and build something special on top. So yeah, this really excites me, and yeah, it's wonderful to see. So I would say it's a mix of the technology advancement, but also the people behind it.
great answer to a great question. Thank you, Simone.
Thank you.
So you mentioned these scalability, DeFi, and security, right?
Scalability, decentralization, and security. Yes.
Yeah. So do you think that we are close to solve that problem and and have them, can we have them all three in same go?
Uh, yeah, I think we're already at a point where it's sufficiently solved. So we're at a sufficient level of decentralization, sufficient level of scalability, sufficient level of security, and this sufficient, of course, changes depending on, of course, maybe there's more security, a little bit less decentralization, and so on. But then, yeah, it really depends against what we measure. But I think, yes, I think we're already in a good spot. And, the path forward is just going to be improving upon what we already have now. So it's going to get better and better. Unfortunately, it's crypto. So everyone wants things now. And, everything needs to happen now. But, these things take time. And again, looking
Yeah.
back at, 3 years ago when Phantom Mainnet just launched to where we're at now, it's a big difference. So I'm thinking in 3 years from now, again, looking back, we would almost laugh and to see where we're at today.
Yeah, why is it that the time goes so much quicker in crypto land than in the real life land? I don't know, but
Oh, I don't know
okay.
why, but yeah, I guess it's because it's so no, because it's
It moves
24/7,
fast.
because it moves
Yeah, yeah.
fast, also because it's so
No
community.
weekends, no nights.
No, 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 because there's no matter what, there's going to be people somewhere that are awake and active, right? So it's this community aspect that wasn't really present in anything else before. I mean, it was present in other things, but now we have this kind of mix of community and technology and also value that all comes together and creates this very vibrant environment that never sleeps.
Hmm. So how are you moving forward now with, because you are the head of marketing, right? CMO. And
Yes.
so what's the next big push, or what are you going to do to be one of the, or if you have that as a goal, to be one of the, I don't know, top three. Where are you now? 10 or something?
we,
I haven't
we're
checked today.
we're the, I don't know, in the ranking. I don't know, we're probably around top 40, something like that, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely the goal is to be in the top 10 at least, because that's
Yeah.
what Phantom really belongs, given not even belongs. It's really what we're aiming at to really be uh, the best blockchain platform, if even we can call it like that. As I said, there's healthy competition. There's other platforms as well that are doing really good jobs. So it's
Mm.
going to be a pie that is going to be shared among a few players. But to answer your question, so what is going to be the next big push or big effort? Nothing really big. It's just a very slow and constant grind, and that's what actually works in crypto and not in crypto, right? We don't really necessarily want to make such, like a big splash and then everybody forgets about it. But it's just this constant repetition, constant grind, constant presence that we've been actually working on for the past, I would say, couple of years. And again, it's becoming more and more substantial as we move forward. So this means, we have, a stellar marketing team, really, really wonderful people that we all work together. We have some content creation people that are doing a phenomenal job, and we're expanding avenues. We recently started our Instagram account. It's not there's not much content there as of now, but that's certainly something that we want to expand. In the future, we will add TikTok as well. We're putting quite some effort on YouTube as well. We recently started a podcast called Vertical Blocks 3 or 4 months ago that is going very well. We had some very, very interesting conversation on it. Yeah, and so again, to give you a shorter answer to your
Yeah.
question, it's nothing big, but just this constant
Keep going,
cost.
yes.
Keep
So
going,
far.
yes, and keep
But
educating,
isn't
keep
it,
telling people about Fantom.
I mean, your customers or your users are mainly developers, right? Who wants to use Phantom blockchain or DAG to develop their things on. So wouldn't it be good for you to have a really huge thing from some developer, or maybe you develop it yourself that people really need and really want to use? Wouldn't that be I mean, something
So
to look for?
So let's unpack that a little bit. Yes. So I would say that our main target audience is developers, as you pointed out, because those are
Mm,
those that build applications that end users will use eventually. But at the same time, it's crypto. So, end users are kind of part of the big picture anyway, even if it's not the direct real customers, quote unquote, air quotes, of the product. Then, doing the big, I don't know, maybe the big app that maybe you're referring to. I don't think we're there yet. We're way past the point at this moment, because as I mentioned, we have, some of the most used dApps in the world on Phantom. We have some DEXs that are among the most used DEXs in the world. We have some innovative dApps being released pretty much weekly on Phantom. So I don't think that we need a big dApp to just to
okay,
attract
yeah.
people, because yeah,
Yeah,
these
and
happened maybe
I think
two
I
years
can
ago.
contradict myself a little bit also, because what I said previously, that if there is some good apps or something that people really want to use and they don't really need to know it's Phantom behind it, so
Yeah, correct. And well, at the moment, anyway, they know, because some of these apps are multi-chain, and when they use Phantom, they know that it's Phantom because it honestly feels better than other chains. And I know it
okay.
sounds a little bit chilly, it sounds a little bit biased, but
A little
I,
bit
I
biased.
yeah,
More.
no, but yes,
You're
but
allowed. You're
invite
allowed.
I know, but I invite everyone to really go try, Phantom, of course, if you haven't tried, and try the same dApp on different chains, and and tell me, or will tell yourself how it feels, because it's really. I've tried pretty much all the chains, and no matter what, Phantom is what works best for me and for a bunch of tens of thousands of users as well.
Hmm. But here's a basic question then for people like me who now don't know this. But do you have to have a special wallet to hold your Phantom, or can you use one of the main wallets that everyone's using, like Trust Wallet, MetaMask, or?
Of course, yes, yes. So Phantom, once again, Phantom is EVM compatible. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
any
right.
wallet, yeah, any wallet that
Perfect.
supports Ethereum, then
Perfect.
you can use Phantom. So MetaMask, Trust Wallet, and really, I mean, there's huge list of wallets
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that
of
supports
course.
Phantom, plus our own wallet, through which you can also stake your FTM and get a little bit of staking rewards. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
So in your own wallet that you have,
Mhm.
can you put other coins there as well?
No, our wallet is just for FTM and the Phantom ecosystem tokens.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
you cannot, I mean, I guess you could if if you export the private key, then import it to MetaMask, and then, but let's say if you send, I don't know, Matic to your wallet and you just access it through our Phantom wallet, they will not be displayed. But if you go on MetaMask, then you will see, and change network, of course, you will see your
Ah,
Matic.
okay. They won't disappear
Yeah.
anyway if I send it
No,
to.
no, no, no. It's blockchain. Yeah, no, no, no.
That's
No,
good.
it's just a display thing. Yes, of course. So the same,
Very good.
it works with the 0x wallet. So that 0x will work
Yeah.
with all
Yeah.
the EVM chains. Yeah.
All right. We are coming up to the hour. It's very nice talking with you. I'm enjoying this AMA very much. And I don't know if you have more time or if we should do some more
Yeah, I have
uh,
a couple more
things
minutes,
or
then I have to jump on in another call shortly. Let me
okay, yeah,
see,
it's
actually.
usually like that. People have an hour set
Yeah,
for it
actually,
and
yes. I have 2 minutes
busy
and I have to
people.
jump on another call.
Well,
Yeah.
it was a pleasure talking with you, Simone. And yeah, I hope maybe you can come back and tell us more about Phantom someday, not too far away, because I think there's more to unpack and tell us. But is there something that you want to mention? I know that you currently have started a hackathon that's running till March, I think.
Right. Yes, yes. So I invite all the developers to, to join the hackathon. There's $50,000 in prizes. So come, build on Phantom, be creative, build something that is, is, as I said, unexpected, that is new, that is innovative, that is creative, and and hopefully you'll get rewarded. And if not, at least you'll have the chance to try out Phantom and how it is on building on Phantom. But to add to that, it's just going to be this is I believe the first one, the first hackathon that we do just us. We've done other hackathons in the past in partnerships with other projects. Recently with Morales. But anyway, moving forward, we're going to do a hackathon every 3 months. So yeah, it's going to be
Okay.
pretty much constantly, hackathon time for people.
Lots of hackathons to come then from Phantom. That's cool.
Yeah.
Great. So, is there something else that you want to mention that you think my audience here must know or should know?
Not really. I mean, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Fantom FTN. Make sure to check out our blog, check out our community on Telegram and Discord, and stay up to date because this year is going to be super cool for Fantom. And I'm not just saying it; it's really, it's probably the year with the most technological improvements and upgrades since Phantom launched. So lots of things to look forward to.
That's great. And make sure to follow Phantom on Twitter also and follow
Yeah,
Simone. I just followed you now, Simone. So I can
thank you.
keep you in my contacts. And I'm kind of afraid of asking my last question, but I know people are waiting for it. And you as an Italian man and everything. So please don't kill me, but did you ever try a pizza with pineapple, Simone?
I did. I did, and I
Oh,
would
you
say,
did.
and yes, and I would say something that my fellow Italians would kill me because
Yeah.
I
How
used
can you
to give.
reveal this? This
I
is
know, I
big.
know.
This is the biggest scope ever.
Uh, yes, I heard it a few times when I was younger, and I liked it. Honestly, I liked that the mix of a little bit, sweetness of the pineapple and the salty of the pizza.
Wow. Oh my God, this is a twist for
Yeah.
centuries to come. Thank you so much, Simone.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. And yeah, let's do it again in the future.
Let's do it again. Let's have some pizza together with pineapple, everyone, someday.
Sure.
Not in Italy, though. Yeah, thank you, Simone. It was great. And I wish you the best of luck with the Phantom Foundation. And if people want to interact and yeah, have ideas or more questions, they can come to where is the best place? Is it the Telegram group or?
I would say the Phantom Twitter account is the best place to keep up with everything that we do. And then,
Mhm.
yes, we have Telegram, we have Discord to actually chat with the rest of the community.
Yeah. And do you have regularly like AMAs yourself over at Phantom or for people
Not
to
And
ask,
yeah, not really, because at the moment, as I mentioned, we do a lot of, we do quite a bit of these
building?
AMAs, yeah, around, with different hosts, different,
Ah, okay, okay.
yeah, and plus, the Vertical Blocks podcast that comes out either weekly or every 2 weeks, depending on the schedule a little bit. So we're really present, and it's easy to find audio and video information coming out pretty much constantly from
Hmm.
us.
I see now. I can't send you a message, so you're secret on here, I guess.
Oh,
If you want,
weird.
you can send me a message so I can keep in touch
Okay.
with you.
Yes, yes. I will.
Anyway, it was a pleasure and have a nice rest of your evening if you're in Italy. We have the same time, I think. It's 5 o'clock.
Thank you. Perfect 5 o'clock for me as well. Yes. Thank you very much.
And everyone in here, thank you so much for coming and listening. And have a good whatever, wherever you are, guys. And have some pizza with pineapple. Why don't you? Even the Italians likes it now. So
Thank you
bye,
again.
everyone.
Bye bye.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone. Bye.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.